All right, welcome in, everybody. We are watching the end of this Houston-Oregon State game, which is become a good game, Tate.
Yes, the right amount of muck. We were watching the first half. Houston's kind of dominating this game, and then, getting a lot of offensive rebounds, and then the 1-3-1 zone comes in from the Beavers.
Yep.
And now we got a great game. We were watching the women's game.
Full
UConn,
disclosure,
Baylor.
yeah. I mean, like a lot of people around the country, when Oregon State scored 17 points at halftime hits right as the women's game was starting the second, or there wasn't even starting. It was like in the thick of the second half.
Yes.
So we throw it over that.
Great game.
A timeout happens in that game. We flip it back, and we're like, oh my God, what's going on?
It's
with this
March. It's madness. This is good stuff. This
madness
is good basketball.
Is great. Houston looked the part. For the Houston defense was stifling. We'll say it looked. Giroux was amazing on time. Still, like Thompson's been not great tonight.
Grimes has had a good second half, starting to score now. Has 11 in the second half. Yeah.
But yeah, this was the muck game that we thought it would be.
Yes.
It's just
two muckers enter, only one can leave, and it was a little too much muck. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, the Beavers are the right amount of muck, the right tempo. And right now, they're making their run. But Houston, give them credit. We knew that this run was going to happen. We knew Houston was going to have to hold on.
Yeah.
They have not been tested as much throughout the season as far as their scheduling and things like that. But they're here, and they're on the verge of a Final Four. And we got 1:17 left to go in this game. Oregon State with the basketball, 4-point game. It's been great, this little run. Here, great defense again from Houston. Not a great shot from Oregon State.
Air ball. Tinkle's putting
Tinkle doing the classic hold. Hold the line.
One stop.
1 minute to go here. Quentin Grimes. It's good to have a guy like Grimes. If you're here we go. Takes it right to the basket, and we got a foul.
A lot of guys, a lot of schools fist is man.
Yes.
I don't know why that is, but it just is. Like, you just put the fist up. It means
you know what's funny? We've been talking about their zone too, mucking it up perfectly.
Yeah.
And Tinkle's like, let's go, man.
Let's
here.
go, man.
And Grimes gets downhill, gets a foul. Wow, that's not a good shot for Oregon State there. That's not what you like to see. For the Pac-12 fans at home, that is not what you like to see.
Yeah, do we draw any conclusions about this for the Pac-12 as a whole? I don't think so. I think we're well past that point. I think the Pac-12
Pac-12 is already represented
if
well.
USC
Missing
and UCLA,
free throws is a theme that we're having here lately, though.
I think all Pac-12 teams could lose in the Elite Eight, and the Pac-12 still fine, right? Like, we're still. I say we're because let's be honest.
We are Pac-12 guys.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we got Varun Bose here says, "Bees, please rebound." Like that's what you need to do, especially defensive rebound.
Yeah, how many offensive
rebounds
did Houston have? Like 17 or something this
19.
game? It's up to 19 now?
19. Yep.
Yikes. All right, we need a bucket here.
Oh, that's a travel.
Dude, this is
jump ball.
we were
Possession Houston. I mean, this is like we go live here. We expect this to be. Houston's locking down. We have to give them credit. They're a very Giroux.
This is what Houston does. This is what
most
Houston does well.
Player, most valuable.
I want to
player.
say this because I'm going to get ahead of this story. I'm going to get ahead of it before the haters come at me because I have not enjoyed Houston basketball for most of the season. I've called Houston. They felt like a fraud of a team to me because that's not based on nothing, Tate. I have reasons for this
belief.
belief.
With the facts.
Houston this season, their best win was Texas Tech in November. After that, they played one NCAA tournament team the rest of the season. It was Wichita State. They split with Wichita State. Wichita State was an 11 seed that lost a play-in game. So this was Houston's NCAA tournament experience before the tournament. You get them to the tournament. They have played nothing but double-digit seeds. They should have lost to Rutgers in the second round. I'm not going to say they should have lost tonight, but they're lucky to survive ultimately tonight. And there's a lot, like you suss all that out. You throw in losses to East Carolina, losses to Tulsa, and suddenly I'm like, why do I believe in this team? And I will say, in their defense, play on words, pun intended, in their defense, what I have always believed in is that Houston can guard.
Yes,
I do believe that they can play great defense. It's that their offense can be a disaster. I don't believe in their playmakers outside of Grimes, per se. But again, who cares what I think? You're less than a minute away from the Final Four, so that it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the rings you get, the nets you cut down, will not say that we only beat double-digit seeds to get.
John Rivers says it best. Houston locked these dudes up. That's what happens at the end of the day. And we talk about the NCAA tournament. It's a climb. There's an endurance to it. You mentioned they should have lost in the second round. Well, guess what? Houston lost to Swaggy Poole in 2018 in a second-round game, and that kept them from the Sweet 16 run they'd probably deserved that year. The basketball gods seem to be back on their side. And here we go.
That's a good trick when you're going live and there's nothing really going on. You just go ah, and then the people at home are like, oh.
I mean, as far as the program play, I mean, Houston, they get Jordan Brand involved with their program. Obviously, Sampson comes back to try to build something. It's a point for the new bloods right now, I would say. Houston, a lot of people would say maybe a true blood.
Kind of a blue blood.
But they have blue blood lineage. But let's think about it. 82, 83, 84. Obviously, 3 straight Final Fours. The last time was in 1984. Yeah. But then they've had this lull period. They tried the Clyde Drexler, bring back our guys, see what happens. That didn't quite work out.
Yeah, isn't that funny how, that wasn't the move, and then now that is the move. Now, if Houston needed a coach right now, they would 100% hire Clyde Drexler and be like, this is definitely
This is a legacy play. This is what you have
to
do.
And it would work this time around.
And then everyone would say he's the next Juwan Howard, and this is the right move. But Sampson's built his own culture here. He's been able to get some really talented kids. Not 5 stars per se, but they're what they call 4+ stars, which I like that idea. You know, it's not a 5-star. It's too much pressure, but a 4+ guy.
Doesn't make any damn
Doesn't make any sense. But then you also get a guy like Quentin Grimes, who was written off, goes to Kansas. We liked him his freshman year. Things don't go so well. He transfers to Houston. A lot of people are like, what is this kid? He's definitely an NBA first-round pick. That's what he's proved.
Yeah, he's awesome.
During his time at Houston, and obviously he's been great in the second half here. Steady hand for the Cougars, and this is great. If you're Akeem Olajuwon, if you're Clyde Drexler, if you're any of those guys from that era, it's fun to see this.
My thoughts on Houston is that Houston has been, for this season and for really the last 4 seasons, they are the new Gonzaga. That's what I think I said this on a show before, that what people think Gonzaga is no longer that. Gonzaga
as far as
blown,
the strength of schedule and things like that.
The kind of beating up on smaller schools and having an inflated record, and we don't really know how good they actually are.
Big fan of Sasser, by the way. He's my favorite guard on this Houston team.
That to me is what Houston is now, and Gonzaga has blown well past that. And Gonzaga is now at the adult table every single year. This one's
6-point game. 38 seconds left.
With 38 seconds.
I mean, Oregon State, what a run regardless. I mean, to be able to get to the Elite Eight.
Oh, no.
I mean,
Dude,
they have just
these final possessions.
Execution-wise on the offensive end, it's not been what you want. But that's kudos to Houston, right? I mean, they're such a good defensive team. They're locking down here.
I will say Oregon State's logo, not the best. Don't love it. And I bring that up to say I don't really feel like Oregon State would have passed the T-shirt test, as we say on the program. That when you close your eyes,
when you get your Final Four T-shirt,
and you picture that Final Four T-shirt on the rack in
Oregon
Indianapolis,
State's not there.
And they got the logos.
Baseball. I see it in baseball.
I see it in baseball.
Someone as a North Carolina fan who saw Oregon State beat them twice in baseball.
I'll give you this.
I see it in baseball.
I'll give you this, Oregon State fans. I see it in football.
I see it in football too.
I see a college football playoff. I can see the
it in
Beaver.
Wrestling. See it in swimming and diving.
See it in softball.
See it in softball.
What are other sports?
I don't know. Fencing. But regardless, a great showing for Tinkle. Great showing for the Pac-12. I mean, the free throw shooting has been a story in this tournament. And rebounding is obviously a struggle for Oregon State in this game. But again, we have to give credit to Houston.
I want to say this, too.
Really well.
This is, for a lot of casual people that come around from March Madness and you throw on some college basketball, you're going to pull your hair out watching guys miss free throws, and you're going to watch these final Oregon State possessions, and you're like, who could possibly like this? I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to say it's me. I like this. I love that in our sport, you can take nothing for granted. Nothing can be taken for granted. You can't free throws. Drives to the basket that are seemingly wide open, you might dribble off your foot. I love it. I love the airs. I love that these guys are not professional players.
And talking about the city of Houston, right? You lose the Rockets, right? James Harden demands the trade. He goes to Brooklyn.
You know
what I mean?
Seattle.
No, I'm just saying the Rockets kind of implode to start the season. You don't really have a basketball team that you can rely on.
JJ Watt left.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
So Houston sports fans, this is your team, the Houston Cougars, and they're making the Final Four, and that's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
They're up 8 right now. 25
it is good.
seconds.
It is good for college basketball. Houston being great, making the Final Four.
You and I are big fans of perennially good programs being good. Despite all the haters, despite some of the people who are journalists that don't like that, we like when Houston is good. Sasser, I love that pass, touchdown.
As I've said all along, when I've called Houston frauds, I mean it as no disrespect. No disrespect. In fact,
you've always said that.
I've always said that.
Point for the new bloods. They're doing
I have always said, with the utmost respect, I believe that this team is a fraud. But the program as a whole, Kelvin Sampson was beloved in Indiana until he wasn't. But
Sampson,
he's a great coach.
He is.
This is great for college basketball that Houston is.
If you've seen the movie Half Baked, we love saying Sampson. That's our favorite way to describe Kelvin Sampson, and it's it is great to see him thrive because, like, he was written off. This has been a tournament of guys with chips on their shoulders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, trying to make a message, trying to let people know what's up.
Message to the haters.
Yeah, this is the message to the doubters, message to the haters.
And really,
Wow.
I mean, no matter who wins tonight, Baylor-Arkansas, that's a big-time message to the haters as well.
Regardless.
I'm excited
if
for that
Muss
one,
goes
man.
to the Final Four, he was written off, as an NBA coach at one time. If Scott Drew does it, we finally say Scott Drew is a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
He is over the hump. First time since 1950 they would be in the Final Four.
I'm curious. I'm curious who's more nervous. Who do you think's more nervous between Baylor fans and Arkansas
Baylor fans.
It's got to be Baylor because
Arkansas
they
fans
have
have done it. They know what it looks like recently enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 94, 95. They know what it looks like. So
Yeah.
for me, Arkansas is a basketball school. And I think they know what success looks like. In fact, they have the confidence in this game of saying, Baylor, welcome to the table. Do you want to play with the big boys a little bit? And they have the best backcourt, I think, left. So I don't know. It could be a fun game.
and Baylor's supposed to win, so there's
Baylor's supposed to win, and they have the best defense left in the tournament, probably Baylor, we would say, by far.
I guess we'll stick around. We'll watch the end of this together and watch the celebration.
65-58, Houston already
It ended up being a game worth watching. It out of the gate looked very ugly, and I was worried that
it was a yuck.
We
We have prided ourselves on either mucking or bucking, but not yucking, and they yucked it up to open up this game.
No disrespect to Oregon State, but now that Oregon State is out of the tournament, Tate, I think every game, no matter what matchup you're looking for, if you're one of the people that's like, give me the best matchups possible,
we got it.
I think no matter what happens from here, it's awesome storylines, awesome matchups.
3
right?
seconds left. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, because even
forward.
UCLA is an 11, but like UCLA is super talented. UCLA has shown us at times this season that Oregon State, I got to remind people, they lost at home to Portland.
A healthy UCLA team, you and I were talking about making a run to the Final Four at one time with Chris Smith. And obviously we marked them down when he goes out. We were trying to see what they look like. I love that we're getting the Phi Slam Pajama stuff, by the way. That's the best part about Houston. Nostalgia is fully at play here.
Got to say, too, Oregon State, I don't know if you saw this. Oregon State, the Oregon State basketball, the Twitter account put out a hype video for today. Mm-hmm. And the first voice you hear on the hype video is yours truly.
Yeah, that's true.
I said,
do you think this is curse related? Do you
think that's where I was going with this. It was like I think my line was Oregon State's the hottest team. How are they doing this? Nobody knows.
Houston said we will find out today. And
I don't think they took that as a slight per se, but they did use my voice, and they inadvertently, accidentally invoked the Titus Tate curse. So Oregon State, we tried to have Wayne Tinkle on the program.
We did put in the ass.
Yeah, that never happened. But they
said we'll
found
just
a
put
way.
Titus in the video.
They found a way to get the curse. They found a way to get our stench on them, nonetheless. How much does this run mean for Wayne Tinkle? Is he kind of just the Frank Martin of this tourney? Ooh, is that a bad thing to be the Frank Martin of this tourney?
First, I don't like that tone.
Yeah.
And Frank Martin, I like Frank Martin a lot. And if you're saying Wayne Tinkle gets the Frank Martin bump, sure. I think Tinkle just got name recognition more than anything, right? A lot of people that weren't familiar with Oregon State weren't familiar with Wayne Tinkle. Now they know who he is. They have the visibility. And, for Oregon as a basketball state, you couldn't have asked for a better tournament run.
I think the thing with these runs is it's not necessarily about, like, does this prove that Wayne Tinkle's a great coach?
Thompson, great run in this tournament.
Does this prove that he's not a great coach? The whole thing is just PR stuff. It's just like, will people for example, Oral Roberts, they might as well have gone to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. That was great for the PR of Oral Roberts. I think Oregon State got the PR play. I think this is good for Wayne Tinkle in that regard. I think we're going to see a bump in some capacity.
We're going to hear from Oregon State again, yes. And if you're making a tournament, like if you're making the Jerry Colangelo Classic, you say, hey, I could get Wayne Tinkle in Oregon State. They're more in the sphere of conversation, which you're a Beavers fan, that's what you want to be. You don't want to be off-center. You don't want to be over here by yourself.
If Battle for Atlantis, fast forward next year, say a team had to drop out and Oregon State's in the Battle for Atlantis, no one's like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
How do they get in there?
They're like, that's interesting. Did they just make the Elite Eight? Yeah, that's cool.
We'll remember that. So I don't know what the bump's ultimately going to be from Wayne Tinkle, but
Bruce Weber, Kansas State Elite Eight run. That's not Frank Martin. That's what I think the Wayne Tinkle's Bruce Weber run.
So you said Oregon State is going to look up and lose to a Division II team in 2 years.
Wait, what? No.
Like Bruce Weber.
Oh man, Houston, congratulations.
This is a weird vibe to me. The Final Four, making the Final Four in a city that you're going to stay in now. So like you traditionally, and I say this from experience, by the way, if you're new to the show, I went to the 2007 Final Four. I have a ring to prove
Look
it.
Look at Samson. He's so happy.
I don't talk about it much, but it did happen. You can look it up. Tate, traditionally when you go to the Final Four, you get back on the plane, you fly back to campus, you step off the plane, and you're holding your regional trophy, and the whole town is like huddled around the tarmac, and they're losing their mind, holding up signs, and it's a whole deal. These guys are going to celebrate. Kelvin Sampson's going to give his thumbs up, his fist pumps. We did it. Then they're going to go back to their hotels and not be allowed outside.
Play Xbox. You know what I mean? Play NCAA basketball.
That's very strange.
On their Xbox. Yeah.
That's a very strange thing. Congratulations to Houston. Congratulations to Kelvin Sampson.
We don't have a problem. We have a Final Four. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I think it is good for the sport. It's good to have the 2 seeds. It's good to have we're going to have an awesome Final Four no matter what happens. And again, no disrespect to Oregon State, but I think if you're a fan of like awesome basketball, you kind of at some point were like, we don't necessarily want Oregon State to keep mucking this up.
Yeah, it's a little too much.
Probably,
mug.
yeah.
And
it
also,
was fun while it lasted.
Baylor, if we're looking ahead, Baylor,
Let's look
if
ahead
they win
real
this
quick.
game, we have 2 Texas teams potentially in the Final Four playing each other. In
That's a
Houston
great
and Baylor.
call.
That's interesting as far as basketball state, football state.
So you're telling me when I put Texas in my Final Four,
you were right.
I didn't say University of Texas.
Yes, you just thought the state.
I said the state
of Texas. Yes, yes. That's what
I meant.
Yeah.
What are we thinking tonight? Baylor, Arkansas. What are we feeling? Where are we going with this? It's tough. Every time you get to this point of the tournament, you feel stupid counting out either team. That's how it works. You know what I mean? Like you say, like you go into this game and you're like, well, Houston's clearly better than Oregon State, and Oregon State fans are like, keep saying it. They've been doubting us this whole run. Keep saying it. And it's like at some point one of these teams has to lose. So with Arkansas. Their last 2 games, I believe, right? They have Oral Roberts, and then the game before was who they played. I remember it was close. Texas Tech. That's right.
And the first game was Colgate.
First game was Colgate,
It
which
was
kind of
3 games that were pretty close, to say the least.
the heart attack. What'd you call them?
The cardiac back.
The cardiac backs, dude. What a horrible nickname. What a horrible name.
Hey, I like the idea of the cardiac backs. The Razorbacks.
Heart attack
being
hogs
back.
is so much better.
Heart attack hogs is probably the right name. But, like, look, you got to workshop it first. And the first day that came to mind was cardiac backs.
Do they call does anybody
they
in
never
Arkansas
call themselves
the backs?
No, it's Woo Pig Suey. That's what they say.
The
WPS.
pigs. I like the pigs, the hogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Arkansas, like, it's their MO to have thrilling games. To if Arkansas is down big, I expect them to come back because that's it's in the bylaws of Arkansas basketball to make this thrilling and to make it fun. I do think Baylor's too good, though. The way Baylor's been playing defense.
Baylor's defense is
really
the difference.
That's really
and if Arkansas gets going, I love Tate. I love Moody. I like those guys in the backcourt for Arkansas, but Moody's been struggling. And if he has a game where he goes 4 of 20 again, then I think Arkansas really has no shot. So something to keep an eye on.
I think I think I'm in agreement with you. If Baylor, it all just starts on the defensive end of Baylor. It doesn't even matter who's scoring for Baylor. It doesn't matter. It really, nothing else matters to me. If Baylor comes out and they're locked in defensively, it's over.
There's a chance that, like I said, Arkansas is a basketball school. There's a Southwest Conference, a little wrinkle in here where Arkansas owns, Baylor and they get the win, make the Final Four. The must bus keeps rolling, but I think Baylor's the second best team in the country. I think they have been all year. I think we've seen that in this tournament. So Baylor moves on.
Well, it doesn't matter what we think. We're going to see it for
we're
ourselves later
tonight. I forgot. We're previewing something's about to happen.
Yeah. Also, we're going to go live after the game tonight. We're going to talk about that game, this game, everything else. Do we have anything else we need to talk about? You have any women's thoughts? Baylor women? You said you wanted to make this whole show a Baylor show because you felt like the Baylor women were going to win. And then the Baylor men were going to win. You were wrong in the first one.
Well, I will say this. Baylor was up in this game, and I looked at you, and I said, it's game over. And Dede goes down. We got the hamstring injury. And then a 19-0 run happens for UConn. MVP, most important player, whatever you want to say about Dede. But once she goes down, UConn makes the run. Congratulations to the Huskies. I have a Husky in my life. I was going to root for the Huskies, but I didn't want to curse the Huskies. So I'm happy they made the Final Four. Shout out to Paige Buckets. Paige Beckers for the people at home that don't know how to pronounce it. And
I don't know how
great.
UConn women pulled this off, but they have created a situation where they are a 1 seed that has lost 1 game this year, and it says UConn on their chest, and they have Gino Auriemma on the sideline, and they're underdogs. There's like a feeling of like
we're watching this game, and I'm like, Baylor's a bad matchup. You're almost like, God, I hope this scrappy UConn team can get past these guys.
Because it's been what, 5 years since they won a title, so they're in a drought. This is
12
a
straight
drought.
Final Fours for UConn. That makes no sense. But congratulations to them. They keep it rolling. Baylor, great team. Honestly, it was a great game. I know a lot of people were mad that we said that we were watching that game instead of the Houston-Oregon State game, but it was too much muck at the time.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a really good game. So we came back and enjoyed it.
Thanks for joining us. We expected this to be more fun towards the end. It was looking good there. Oregon State came back, made a game of it. Congratulations, by the way, to Oregon State. I mean, I kind of
what a run.
We got to say that.
Pac-12 update. Oregon State, the Beavers basketball program is here. And they're making some noise, and it's good to see.
And yeah, it's shout out to Bud. We didn't hear much from Bud.
Bud Ossie. I told you this. You were like, well, "Who's your favorite player on Oregon State?" I'm like, all I see is Bud Ossie out there, just like playing good defense.
I felt like Bud was just introduced to our lives as a foil to Sister Jean, and then once they beat Loyola, they were like, "We don't need Bud anymore."
Dana used him.
Yeah,
he does feel
Bud
a little
was used.
A tinge of
shoot up and spit out.
used.
I don't like that.
It's okay.
That's
we'll
what the
bring him on
media
the
does
show.
to you.
That's our shtick.
how the
We did
media
that with
works.
San Diego State. We're just like, come on the show.
We'll be back later tonight live with reactions at the end of this game. So if you're not sorry, East Coast people that are going to bed, but this is
it's a West Coast tournament.
It's a West Coast tournament, so we're gonna go live. It's still prime time for us, baby. So please join us after the game. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you then.